Coming live from the capital, this is BTV News at 9 o'clock. I am Khomotso Mapane. Interpreting in sign language is Topo Taposa. Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at the headlines. Botswana to strengthen trade relations with the European Union. Illegal gold mining on the rise in Francistown and surrounding areas. And in sports, the national junior swimming team gearing up for the upcoming World Aquatic Championships. The Deputy Director General of the European Union, Ms. Miriam Ferran, paid a courtesy call on President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi this afternoon. Ms. Ferran reiterated the long-standing relations of friendship and cooperation between Botswana and the European Union. When welcoming her to his office, President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi appreciated the recognition of the country's peace and tranquility by the European Union. The President informed the European Union representative that diamonds are still the most valuable catalyst in Botswana's economy, pleading with the Europeans to respect any decision Botswana makes with its diamonds.
Any threat to diamonds is a threat to everything that you've celebrated, that you said you thank us for. You know, the values, the positions, you know, the stability. Anytime you touch diamonds, you touch us. And that's why we're so eager to make sure that diamonds are Botswana and Botswana is diamonds. It's extremely important to us. We want to get this very, very jealousy. And it also justifies for us the reason in part for those who did not fully understand why we as a government with little resources and fraught with so many challenges decided to invest 24% buy a stake in HB Diamonds. Yes, they've had a few challenges, but who doesn't go through challenges? But we're very committed to that, including the procurement of the whole value proposition that is part of HB.
We have very strong economic relationship, but the ones we want to increase and strengthen even more, and this is one of the reasons of our presence here. We have a lot of relations also in the field of trade, thanks to the economic partnership agreement with SADC, and we very much appreciate the role that your country is playing on the multilateral and regional scene. We are aligned on the multilateral fora, and this is of utmost importance in the current geopolitical circumstances and number of wars or coups erupting at an increased frequency. So we very much appreciate this closeness in position, and we very much appreciate your position, the stability of your country and your positioning at regional level.
Botswana is looking to strengthen its trade relations with the European Union during the 17th edition of the Global Expo Botswana that began in Gaborone this morning. The President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, shared this with EU investors attending the summit, noting that Botswana and Africa remain the best investment destination with a market of 1.3 billion people, easily accessible through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which has been ratified by over 90% of African states. This year, Botswana is hosting the Global Expo in partnership with the European Union.
On Wednesday, the Homegrown Expo is an investment forum that allows for networking of international business to explore Botswana markets. Each year, the organizers BITC looks for partners to collaborate with to stimulate the country's journey towards a high-income economy. This year, the partner is the European Union, one of the richest regions in the world, but reportedly with weak trade links with Botswana despite 40 years of relations.
The immediate opportunity offered by today's Global Expo platform, where we have representations from the EU and Africa under one roof, is that it offers prospects for strong future bilateral as well as continental partnerships, Such partnerships, if properly harnessed, stand to be very instrumental in addressing the critical shortages we face regarding specific economic enablers for the movement of goods and services.
Botswana's value proposition to the world has increased manifold with an advent of the AfCFTA from a selling point of a market of 2.3 million people to over 1 billion overnight. It is likely to be the formula and many others that Botswana will use in the next days to attract EU investors to set up shop in country. The EU already understands the country's vision very well.
We are optimistic, Your Excellency, that we will be able to present compelling value propositions to the EU companies which have graced this occasion.
We have heard your repeated calls to transform the Botswana from an upper middle income country to a high income country through your Vision 2036. I want to confirm that the EU is sharing your ambition and is keen and willing to stand by you to reach this objective.
As Botswana looks to increase its trading and partnerships with the European Union, it identifies sectors that will help diversify the country's export base as well as fast-track its momentum towards a high-income economy.
We have the right partners in the room. Explore and project the very real and concrete opportunity that your specific business represents. Follow up and follow through are absolutely crucial.
The Global Expo will take place in the next 3 days, where the local business community will interact with their international peers to learn from each other and explore potential partnerships that will result in real investment. Kiletlelezwe Somulekai, PTV News, Gaborone.
When officiating at the 23rd Savings and Cooperative Associations Congress last night, President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi stressed the importance of cooperatives in driving inclusive economic growth, social development, and empowering individuals and communities. The president said the gathering of financial cooperative leaders from across the globe presents a unique occasion for Botswana to share insights on how cooperatives can transform and empower its citizens, something he observed as being in line with the country's National Vision 2036. Tlotlang Matlabapiri.
More than 700 delegates from 34 countries across the world are converging in Botswana to exchange knowledge and build partnerships in a bid to improve financial soundness and shape the future of the cooperative movement in Africa. The African continent is currently grappling with challenges including unemployment, widespread poverty, and limited access to credit finance. President Masisi says such problems could be addressed through a well-managed and agile cooperative sector.
Cooperatives financing does spur investments that are inclusive and occasion sustained economic growth, which is reflected inter alia by increased productivity and supply of goods and services, and more people in community networks having decent paying jobs to sustain themselves and their families. I acknowledge that COSAC, in collaboration with other international cooperative bodies, are rallying behind international stakeholders to support African cooperatives to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The government of Botswana believes that the economic empowerment of our people through purposeful linkages between cooperatives and other enterprises is critical to a stable nation. Hence our national research agenda, which led to the newly established Ministry of Entrepreneurship.
We are establishing the International Cooperative Alliance Africa sub-regional office in Botswana and Gaborone. This strategic move will ensure that the cooperative movement from Southern Africa enjoys close access to the sub-regional office for support in capacity building, research and development, as well as data accessibility for the region. With this, I urge all member countries and apex bodies from Southern Africa to invariably support this office to ensure that it achieves the envisaged results.
With the cooperative movement in Africa, we can touch lives. We can change lives, and we can grow our economies, our respective economies, by pulling together.
As climate change remains one of the growing challenges in Africa, it is imperative for cooperatives movements globally to join efforts in addressing its impact in communities.
For this reason, ACOSCA and Desjardins International of Canada will be launching the African Cooperative Climate Action Plan this week. We aim to enhance education and awareness about climate change, equipping our members with knowledge and skills needed to embrace sustainable practice while promoting green financing.
Furthermore, these cooperatives leaders were encouraged to continuously invest in digital technologies to take advantage of a wider market, as well as to re-engineer their business processes.
Cooperatives in general are engaged in various ventures of commercial gain. Consumers of your services therefore require up-to-date information about these services. Digitalization of your service will therefore facilitate not only commerce but also knowledge economy in agriculture, empowerment of community and the youth in particular, and in meaningful participation in economic development.
Moreover, President Masisi implored governments to recognize cooperatives as backbones of growing economies and therefore enact legislation and policies that will build a more robust and credible financial cooperative sector to safeguard them against financial risks such as money laundering. Kenya will play host to the next SACA Congress in 2024. Tlotlam Matlabapiri, BTV News, Tlokweng.
Still with SACA, the Minister of Entrepreneurship, Mr. Karabo Hare, says the 23rd SACA Congress will give attendants the opportunity to network and share experiences on how to grow viable businesses in Africa. Minister Hare said this at a launch reception for attending ministers in Gaborone yesterday. Khorata Moranyani.
The African Confederation of Cooperatives Savings and Credit Association, ACOSA, in collaboration with Botswana Savings and Credit Cooperative Association, organized the 23rd SACA Congress in Botswana. The Congress attracted over 700 leaders from within and outside Africa, creating an opportune avenue to collaborate, empower, and collectively formulate ways to address community challenges. This Congress aims at providing support and resources to cooperative savings and credit associations.
Has embraced the cooperative business as a model or as an initiative to achieve a high-income status by 2036. To that end, I am proud to inform you that we are establishing the ICA, or International Cooperative Alliance Africa office in Botswana. This will be the regional office. We've already put everything in place. We've got the office and we have got the personnel to deploy to that office. The strategic move will ensure that the corporate movement from Southern Africa enjoys close access to the sub-regional offices for support and capacity building, research and development, as well as data accessibility for the region. With this, I urge all member countries and apex bodies from Southern Africa to invariably support this office to ensure that it achieves its envisaged results.
This Congress will help in actualizing Africa free trade.
See that we come and support Botswana as a country as we move forward. So while I'm thanking Ghana, I'd also like to thank you and the government for being at the front to say that we want to use the cooperative sector to champion what we are doing.
That they have been coming to Botswana several times throughout this year to capacitate the BOSCA board in order to ensure that they are capable of doing the work that is ahead of them, as we know the giant that is facing us.
The SACA 2023 Congress is ongoing and will end this Friday. Khorata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
The African Union Commission, in collaboration with the government of Botswana, will hold the Pan-African Forum on Migration Conference from the 31st of October to the 2nd of November 2023. Speaking at a press briefing earlier today, the Minister of Labour and Home Affairs, Ms. Anna Moeketsi, said the conference will focus on bolstering free movement and trade in line with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Terry Makhoeng.
The African Union adopted the African Continent Free Trade Agreement as a flagship project of the African Union Agenda 2063, aimed at creating a single African market for goods and services facilitated by free movement of persons, capital and investment to deepen economic integration. The Commission therefore found it befitting to hold the conference in order to bring attention to the AU member states that migration, including labor, affects trade.
It is worth noting, ladies and gentlemen, that the discussions during the conference will center around the Free Movement Protocol, which Botswana is signatory to, both at AU and SADC level. The Free Movement Protocol clarifies that free movement of persons, capital, goods and services will promote integration, Pan-Africanism, enhance science, technology, education, research, and foster tourism.
Some of the objectives of the upcoming conference include, among others, advancing dialogue to deconstruct barriers towards advancement of free movement of people in Africa.
This is a welcome initiative for Botswana, as Botswana is exemplary in its initiatives geared towards improving free movement of people and goods. And I'm going to give you a few examples of that. You will recall that we have established the Kazangula one-stop border post. You will recall that very recently we launched the Mamuno 24-hour border post. And you will also recall, ladies and gentlemen, that we have launched the use of the National Identity Card, OMANG, to cross the borders between Botswana and Namibia. So, Botswana is making significant headway in that regard, ladies and gentlemen. We are ahead of most countries in Africa already, and hence why Botswana is a good host for this conference.
The conference, which will commence at the end of this month, comes at a time when government is looking into migration as its approach in improving trade relations. Terry Makhoeng, BTV News, Gaborone.
Illegal mining of gold in Francistown and peripheral areas such as Matsiloje is escalating and becoming a major problem for the community and law enforcement organs. The head of criminal investigations for District Number 1, responsible for Kutlwano and Matsiloje police stations, Superintendent Okeditse Moseki, says from their investigations, such crimes are primarily committed by foreign nationals who use highly sophisticated mining equipment. Bethany Mando.
Illegal mining for gold deposits on surface and on closed underground mines in Francistown and its surroundings is constantly becoming an eyesore for the Botswana Police Service, more so that the criminal gangs have no boundaries and respect for the rule of law.
Ha remote ga ta chila farms re le go tente me go senyegile ra ta chila farms e yote bona le di old mine speeds tsa bo Rainbow, Signal Hill le go bo Patama Tebe ke le hatsile le gore le jelo ra go epilwe hong me hela bontsi ba mo go epiwang ke mineral go teng gold. Our area is rich in gold. Yana totare tshwenyegile re tshwenyegile ka bona le hatsele senyegile go a re tamar le spodisi gore re bone gore le hatsele le nna ka go tshwanetseng ka teng thomiso tsa rona bontsi ba whatever component they get here kana sepe se le gore ba se tsaya gone go lebega ile gore se hella go le hatsela rona le mabapi la Zimbabwe ka gore go lebega ke to ka re ke gone go gold e rekwang ka dithoto tse di botoka teng.
The influx of illegal miners started around 2015 at Matsology Old Mines, and today they have spread to and dig in many areas with the use of modern equipment to satisfy their market demands.
Ya no gompieno so se re se itemogetseng ke gore ba setse ba dirisa dilo tse e leng gore di thabologile, ba dirisa dilo tse go teng di metal detectors. Metal detectors ke machine o e leng gore gongwe le gongwe ga go na le tshipi teng mo lehatsheng hela na ha o ta o ba ho wa go tlhalosetsa gore there is a metal mo teng. Ya no ke gone mo o ithelang ba simolola go dira ka ke to ka re dikgaka ne di tetse ho mme ha go ntse go tsweletse ka gore bo ba dirisa machine wa ba bolela gore nya mme metal o ntse o ko teng ba khona go epa mo e leng gore nna le wena ra thomagana mo teng re sa khone go bona la re le kone.
Matsology village along the Botswana-Zimbabwe border facing negative impacts of illegal mining and cross-border crimes.
What is now happening ke gore jaaka re batsamaya ka di-group tse di kalo-kalo mo Sekgwemo jaanong community ya rona ba barui batho ko masi ba tshoga ba tshaba ka gore ga ba itse gore what next ba tla ba tlhasela kgotsa jang.
Borai bongwe jo e leng gore gongwe ra bitemogela mo bathong ba tsamaya ka dilo tse di borai dipeke dilepe dilo hela tse tsotlhetse jaanong ga o ka tsamaya mo tseleng yone ya Frankstown Matsology at night go na le movement o montsi o e leng gore jaanong re itemogela gore le bone jaanong ba e leng gore ke ba batlang ke dikoloi tsa mazimba ba batlang go tlola re belela gore le bona ba na le sabe sa go ba assista jalo mme ga gona botoka bopehela ka gore batho ba tla ka dipalo tse di ntsi jaanong le hala ka kgwisetsa ntsa buile ba tsentse le tshogela le lentsi mo community ya Matsology.
As illegal mining constantly harms the environment and by large Botswana's mineral-led economy, what measures need to be employed to resolve this issue?
Ha go kgonega go leke go ba ka ngwa melao e gore ete gagamale gore bao ba ileng gore gongwe ba tao ba inakanya le ditiro tsa go nna ya di ba be mo seemong sa gore ba bona gore ga go maleba. Dikotao tsa terra tsone tse di amanang le possession of gold dikota se thata mo ileng gore kana e santse le yone le ya 200 pula ele maximum.
Illegal mining is becoming a worldwide concern. Is Botswana becoming a hotspot of illegal mining activities, especially in this area? The Botswana Police Services and other government agencies are fighting tooth and nail to bring to an end this illegal act that will certainly rob Botswana's economic fortunes. Bethany Manto, BTV News, Francistown.
Botswana are encouraged to take vocational skills into consideration as they can help build and improve the country's economy. This was stated by the Member of Parliament for Good Hope Mabule, who is also the Minister of Transport and Public Works, Mr. Eric Molale, when addressing Barolong vocational training students in Pitani, Lone Sekobo.
One of the pillars of the National Vision 2036 is to build a sustainable economy, dream that can be attained if Botswana invests in vocational works, as that would help create jobs and generate income. Mr. Molale emphasized this as he indicated that high-earning jobs are from vocational works.
Mole hasi gore itholelo e ya e tote go ba ne le tumelo ya gore ditiro a se tsa go di officing hela ba ne le tumelo ya gore go a heto tiro tse di nang le madi tsa diatla banana ba ska ba bua gore ga ba na ditiro banana re ba hetsa ba go itira ka ditiro ba itshetse
madua go tsala di bona rete gore jaanong o kgona go reka dilo tse ne re sa itse gore a di ka rekwa mo gae ka jalo re tlhama ditiro re hopotsa go ikaega ka mahatsha a mangwe.
The school and village leadership indicated that they are working tirelessly to make sure that the school is well resourced with the intention of improving performance.
We had the outcry. Even the high to the high economy. Barolo Vocational Training Center has 1,428 hectares. I'm happy to announce to you to say development is ongoing.
Students were encouraged to adopt a change of mindset by using acquired skills to start businesses that can help the country reduce the numbers of unemployed youth. Lona Sekobo, BTV News, Pizan.
As the world celebrates International Day of the Girl Child today, police in Zabong are investigating a case in which a 17-year-old girl was found dead near Maubelo in the early hours of Sunday. The police are appealing to anyone who might have any information regarding this case to come forward and assist in the investigations. Kulebogile Radipotsane.
Superintendent Thapi David says the 17-year-old girl was a Form 5 student at Zabong Unified Secondary School. He says after passers-by alerted the police, the girl was rushed to Zabong Hospital where she was confirmed dead.
Meyo kana ngwanayo ona na le tirisanyo le
It's suspected that the girl was in a romantic relationship with someone we haven't identified yet. We appeal to the public to help us with investigations. Superintendent Christopher Thapi David expressed concern over the growing number of defilement cases in Kalahari South. There were 35 cases of defilement last year. This year, there are 32. Police in Zabong appeal to parents and guardians to continually monitor the whereabouts of their children at all times. He says parents should alert the police and social workers if they suspect their underage children might be in illicit relationships with older people. BTV News, Zabong.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Edwin Dikoloiti, says it is time to end stigma around mental health in Botswana. The minister said this during the commemoration of the World Mental Health Day in Lobatse recently, emphasizing that such taboo is preventing people with mental health disorders from seeking help at a time when challenges of mental health are on the rise. Tsolofelo Tombale.
It has been revealed that the COVID-19 pandemic has caused an exponential increase in mental health challenges such as depression and anxiety. It is a crisis that was made worse by how society isolates those with mental health disorders.
In the past 2 years, more than 700 people committed suicide in Botswana. And this is very worrying indeed. As a society, should come together and show support to some of our own countrymen and women going through difficult times.
Some of the objectives of this today's celebration of that commemoration of mental health today, the first one is to have the opportunity to people and the community to unite behind the theme of mental health as the universal human right. And lastly, to improve the public attitude towards the affected mental health client in order to remove the stigma against mental health clients.
The minister emphasized that those suffering with mental health disorders need to be encouraged to seek help.
More still has to be done to educate Botswana and encourage them to utilize the available personal and community resources to prevent and deal with mental health issues, especially those relating to social ills. As a ministry, we have and we are still working on decentralizing or decentralization of mental health.
Meanwhile, a former client of Sabrana Psychiatric Hospital, who was treated for substance abuse, said drugs are also a crisis that society needs to tackle.
Primary school. Basali ba rekisa mpa. Ha ke ba supika re ke batho ba sena maikarabelo. Ka ta sa ditafole ka zolo e teng, cat e teng. Wa bona. If you are fighting this pandemic, people, I am telling you, it is a pandemic. It
was highlighted that mental health disorders and substance abuse not only affect individuals, but their families and friends, and therefore the public was encouraged to break the walls of judgment and stigma around mental illnesses. Tsolofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
Morupule Game Park received a donation of 3 young giraffes from Mashatu Game Reserve with the aim to diversify wildlife species housed in the park. Morupule Coal Mine Head of Safety and Sustainability, Mr. Moketsi Menyatso, says the intention is to develop the park in order to support the environment against the effects of mining activities in the surrounding areas. Sabaitseng Tabuho.
Morupule Game Park, which measures 3,400 hectares, is home to various animal species, among them kudus, wild beasts, and zebras. The assimilation of these giraffes into the animals found here is envisaged to improve the diversity of species and contribute towards sustainable conservation of the area. The mine also aspires to offer some of these animals towards government's initiative of allowing farmers to keep small game in their fields, in an attempt to grow the agrotourism sector in this country.
Ya ka litsi gore mine ke so se senyang ya re le ka go baakanya ka go dira park gape re na le maikelo a gore mo bogagong e be re open up e kgona go amogela baeng ba tswang konte mo phalape le Greater Botswana ya mo tsatsing leno re tlo amogela diphologolo tse ile gore re di tsere ko Mashatu tse ile gore re le ka go improve biodiversity in the area. Re berekile le ba re dirisana le bona ba wildlife ya Sarowe ba assessitse go le ba ga ile gore e siame ka e ka amogela di giraffe tsone tse re di amogela gompieno. Mo bogaogeng kana mo re na le nalo la gore ne ro oketsa di species tse ile gore di mo park gore e nne the most biodiverse park in the region. Gape park e re dirisa le gape le go support mananeo a mga government a go isa diphologolo ko masimo.
The park is suitable for the young giraffes to thrive.
We have selected young animals, and young animals are far more able to adapt to a new environment than the older animals. They're also much easier to capture, much easier to load, much easier to transport. So they are respectively about 18 months, 2 years and 2.5 years old. And they're going to explore the area for a few days and they will settle down and then hopefully the next 2 weeks are usually the critical phase.
Though it's the first cohort in this area, but the vegetation in Rairi, they can survive because they've been surviving in this kind of vegetation. Sabe sarna se hella mo di permitting re ba re tswelela gape re na le bone re lebella gore botsogo ba tsone bontse jang do bone ba letlela gore ba nne le feto wa bone o nna nga lebela diphologolo le rona as the custodian re na le the responsibility ya gore re bone gore diphologolo tseo di palo di kae le mo botsogo jo bontseng jang le gone gore di movement ha le gore in the future ba tle ba dintsha gone ha ba di sa go we still have to partake in that.
Morupule commits to taking care of the donated giraffes. Just like other wild animals they keep in the park. Sebastian Tebogo, BTV News, Morupule Game Park.
The Food and Agriculture Organization FAO representative Dr. Rene Judek has pledged their commitment to leverage on their expensive knowledge resources to facilitate and contribute to the country's vision of transforming into a knowledge-based economy in collaboration with the government. Dr. Rene Judek echoed the sentiments during the high-level stakeholder engagement workshop held in Gaborone.
The high-level stakeholder engagement hosted by Food and Agriculture Organization created a platform to strengthen partnerships, reflect on achievements, and share knowledge in all areas of priority. It therefore surfaced that despite the potential in the agricultural sector to provide food security by 2030, there is a need to forge strategic partnerships which aligns to the national visions and goals to benefit communities.
A partnership with the government, therefore, holds the potential to expedite the realization of this transformative vision by leveraging our expensive knowledge resources to achieve and contribute and facilitate our journey. I'm proud to announce that FAO and the government of Botswana have jointly signed the FAO Country Programming Framework, CPF, for the period of 2022 to 2026, with implementation already well underway.
Different areas of concern critical for efficient partnerships were identified for those collaborations.
We also need to collaborate on technology as well. Our president has also emphasized on the issue of value chain development. We manage or are responsible for various product management, and our president does not want us, or does not want the country or the harvesters to export these value products in raw form, but rather develop value chains around those value products.
We already spent $10 million from different projects, especially from the TCP. It is equivalent to 142 million pula. So in that case also need to figure out how much we create a job for our youth, our women, our disabled people. That is the most important for the country.
We are praised of having better policy documents in our country. And I also bear testimony to that. The FAO has done a tremendous job in the development of documents such as the National Horticulture Strategy. The FAO has developed documents such as the Gender in Agriculture National Strategy. Now, where is the problem? The problem lies entirely upon project implementation.
All stakeholders share the same sentiments in regards to the need to ensure effective, sustainable environmental initiatives and agri-food systems for a more resilient economy. Gelekelezwe Somolekai, BTV News, Gaborone.
Up next is the sports news with Tato T. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, I see you're putting on a nice thing. What is it called?
It's a kimono.
Kimono. Yeah, when I saw it in the makeup room, I thought it was just a cloth for covering the sofa.
Well, I think...
No, the way you laid it halfway in that sofa, I thought like, oh.
I think where is Julie when we need her?
Okay, let me go straight into sports update. I am Tato Khosumore. Good evening. It's all systems go for the national junior swimming team as they prepare for the biggest challenge at the upcoming Junior World Aquatic Championships billed for Mauritius in December. The team, made up of 11 swimmers, have been battling to improve their time in the current Botswana Swimming Sport Association Gala. This past weekend, they were able to set new personal marks in several races. Khomotso Sefako with the details.
The junior team, made up of 4 girls and 7 boys, will compete in freestyle, breaststroke, butterfly and backstroke disciplines in 50 meters, 100 meters and 200 meters. The girls' side is made up of the 2023 Ghana Zone 6 gold medalist Melody Shalashando from Propeller Swimming, Kira Hari of Phoenix, who had a stellar performance at the first PSSA Gala, Ji An Chang, as well as Yu Shu.
I'm very excited, and I think the expectation is just lots of PBs and to try my best and maybe even compete with the other swimmers. This is definitely, the competition here is good because like here, like you don't only swim with your age mates, you also swim with all the older kids. And yes, also like I prepare in training. And
so I feel like come time for Mauritius, I'll be able to actually gauge where my competitors stand and hopefully push with them and able to make finals after finals, maybe push for a medal.
The under 17 boys team consists of Ghana Zone 6 gold medalist breaststroke champion Musi Matthews, silver medalist Junai Kizile, Khalil CT, level 3 gold medal winner Tumo Matija, Kumo Newman and Inzika Mutibatzela from Phoenix Swimming Club, who competed well at the weekend swim gala at the University of Botswana.
As we're going for Mauritius, I'm preparing as this is our first, for me, this is my first gala in GABS, so it's a way of me preparing and seeing my improvements as I train. Medal, maybe that would be a great accomplishment. Of course, it's a goal that I want to see and I want to, of course, get to. But yeah,
I think I swam some pretty good times for this part of the season, and I'm looking to build towards Mauritius in December and hopefully swim well there. I was satisfied with my times, but there's always room for improvement. I didn't PB that big today, so hopefully I can save the big PBs for Mauritius.
I feel like right now it's still the beginning of the season, still building up mileage in training, but I feel like by the time the gala comes, we'll be in very good shape and I'll get some good times.
The team is expected to go into camp later in the year to sharpen up for the international event, which will be staged at the Serge Alfred swimming pools in the city of Beaubassin in Mauritius from the 6th to the 10th of December. Khomzo Sefako, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Moving on, the national women's team, the MES, failed to qualify for the semi-finals of the ongoing COSAFA Women's Championship after their 1-1 draw with Zimbabwe in Group C final match played this afternoon at Dobsonville Stadium. In another Group C match, Namibia defeated Lesotho 2-0. Zimbabwe now join Malawi, who led Group A with 9 points, Zambia and Mozambique, who finished in the first and second places with 7 points respectively from Group B. Zambia and Zimbabwe will clash in a titanic battle in the first semi-final on Friday at 1200 hours before Malawi and Mozambique go head-to-head at 15:30. And that's it from Botswana Tonight Sports segment. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the evening. Back to you, Tso.
Thank you so much, TT. Now, explain this tournament where the MES unfortunately failed to make it to the next round, to the semi-finals. We were second runner-up in our group, but I see another second runner-up having proceeded to the semi-finals. Just explain that for me.
Yeah, okay. Since there were three groups, so automatically number one in all those groups qualify, and then we were looking for the fourth team, which is Mozambique, who became the best runners-up with 7 points. The MES finished with 5 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, TT. The MES definitely making us proud there. It's a pity, quite unfortunate that we were not able to proceed to the next stage of the tournament.
Yeah, hard luck to the girls.
Thank you so much. That was TT with the sports news this evening. Let's take a final look at stories leading the way. Botswana to strengthen trade relations with the European Union. Illegal gold mining on the rise in Francistown and surrounding areas. And in sports, the national junior swimming team gearing up for the upcoming World Aquatics Championships. BTV News, Ikanya Rona. Up next is the weather update, #BW Mindset Change.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast. My name is Paul Victoria Khosiami. Let's start off by looking at rainfall amounts recorded this morning at 8 a.m. We have 18 millimeters at Hakatla Primary School, 17 at Tamaga Police, 10 millimeters at St. Benedict Primary, Mogotsane Khotla and Leaders International School, 6 millimeters at State House and Gaborone Game Reserve. 3 millimeters at Kurimilajwa Primary School, Raditladi Primary School, Good Hope Mat and Otsa Crops, and 1 millimeter at Sisung Primary School. Look at the satellite overview. It's showing some cloudy conditions over the west and southern parts of Botswana, and we expect these clouds to bring us rain for tonight, even into tomorrow morning. For tomorrow, we're expecting mostly partly cloudy conditions across much of the country, with possibilities of isolated thunder showers over Khanti, Kgalagadi, southern southeast, Gauteng, and Kweneng, and we're expecting fresh to strong winds countrywide. In the mornings, we're expecting some warm temperatures over Khanti, Kgalagadi, southern southeast, Gauteng, and Kweneng, of around 18 over Gaborone, Jwaneng and Veda, to 19 over Khanti and Kgalagadi, and hot temperatures over Ngamiland, Chobe, central and northeast, ranging between 20 degrees Celsius to 25 over Maun. In the afternoon, some warm temperatures over Khanti, Kgalagadi and southern district, of around 29 over Veda, 31 over southern and Kgalagadi, and 32 over Khanti, and hot temperatures over southeast, Gauteng and Kweneng. But for Ngamiland, Chobe, central and northeast, we're expecting some extremely hot temperatures of mostly 39 degrees Celsius. Looking at the active wildfires, it's showing a reduction in active wildfires, but some active wildfires over parts of Ngamiland. The fire danger index, which shows the probability of fire outbreaks getting out of hand, is showing very dangerous to extremely dangerous conditions for tomorrow. Therefore, the public is still advised to handle fire with caution. For Africa cities, we're mostly expecting some partly cloudy conditions with possibilities of isolated thunder showers over Cape Town and Port Elizabeth, with highs of 19 over Cape Town, 22 over Port Elizabeth, 31 over Luanda, Dar es Salaam, and Antananarivo. And for Northern Africa, we're expecting some partly cloudy conditions over Monrovia, N'Djamena, and Addis Ababa, with possibilities of rain over N'Djamena, with highs of 36 degrees Celsius, and sunny skies over Rabat, Tripolis, Cairo, and Khartoum, with highs of 43 at Khartoum. That's the weather. Good night.